Hello. And it's actually take two. And action. For those of you that are missing it, action. All right, welcome to Louqshire Expediting Adventures. You've just got Melissa today on this video. Kind of doing another segment to, I didn't learn that in truck school, or they didn't teach me that in truck school. And I just wanted to share with you some things that you may not know. And it's just not truck school. I suppose if you didn't grow up in an area maybe that has snow, you know, maybe these are weather related, kind of a weather segment. Maybe you weren't aware of some of the conditions that are out there. I have been enlightened over the last 2.5 years of all the different kinds of weather that you may encounter while driving on our highways. So I'm going to start off with one that just happened with Vince and I think a week and a half ago. And, you know, the DOT reader boards had big signs saying snow squalls ahead. I did not know what a snow squall was. So for those of you who don't know, let me just tell you, a snow squall is an intense but limited duration period of moderate to heavy snowfall accompanied by strong, gusty surface winds. If you don't know what a surface wind is, you might want to check that one out too, because I did not know. And it also has possible lightning. Snow accumulation may be significant, and they're different from a typical snowstorm, mainly because they are much shorter lived, but they also often have something called flash freezing. So rapidly falling temperatures along with the freshly fallen snow can glaze those highways pretty quickly. So, and then you've got those strong surface winds. So if you don't know what a snow squall is, do a little research on it. So also, how about, do you know the difference between sleet, freezing rain, and snow? Those are some things you might want to look into. You know, if you're from those southern states where you don't get that kind of weather, you know, that may be a surprise to you, and how do you drive through something like that? In those areas that are getting snow or freezing rain, you know, the DOT trucks, you know, they run and they have different kind of products that they're putting on the ground to help with the freezing roads. Some use a salt brine, some just use salt, some use sand, gravel, maybe a combination of them. I know where I grew up in Oregon, they use sand and gravel. However, upon doing research for my video, I did read where they're using a combination of the salt brine with sand in Oregon now. So, and then how does that affect the road or your driving conditions? You know, is sand or gravel different than the salt brine that's going on the road? So maybe you might want to do a little research on that. Do you know what lateral or side winds are? Lateral or side winds, those are the ones that are coming from the side. I-80 gets those quite a bit, but you can get those almost anywhere that a windstorm is happening. So how about straight line winds? I did not know what straight line winds were. I follow a couple of weather groups on social media, and there were straight line wind warnings in effect for the Nashville, Tennessee area. And I did not know what those were. So again, doing my research, I learned that straight line winds are thunderstorm winds that have no rotation. So it's not going to be a tornado. Downbursts are common cause of wind damage from those thunderstorms, and they can reach over 100 miles per hour and are caused by air being dragged by precipitation. So as the rain is falling, it's dragging those winds down, causing straight line winds. Speaking of tornadoes, do you know what a tornado is? Do you know what to do during one? Growing up in Oregon, we don't have tornadoes. You know, very rarely. They're a phenomenon. So also, do you know the difference between a weather watch and a weather warning? So a weather watch, it is conditions are favorable or expected, but not occurring or imminent. Whereas a weather warning conditions are occurring and imminent. So you should probably already have a plan in play. Come watch, and then during a warning, you're going to implement said plan of whatever you're going to do. And these aren't just for tornadoes. You know, they come with winter watches, winter warnings. So are you watching the weather out ahead of you? Do you know what to do in a tornado? I know I've touched on that already. Freezing fog. Do you know what freezing fog is? What do you do when freezing fog happens? How about dense fog areas? So I knew what dense fog was, you know, growing up in the Rogue Valley. We often would get, you know, fog that would settle in the valley floor for weeks on end come winter, but dense fog. So there are some places in the south that have dense fog sign warnings. I didn't know that was a thing until I started driving. It is so bad that they even have the barrier arms that come across the on-ramps to prevent you from driving out onto the roads when they're having their dense fog warnings. So again, are those things that you're aware of? Have you driven in those kind of conditions before? Forest fires. I grew up with forest fires. You know, sometimes they happen close to the roads. Maybe not so active, but they're still having hot spots and so on and so forth. It could cause extra heavy smoke, which is similar to dense fog. So are you prepared for driving in conditions like that? Heavy rain versus a thunderstorm. How fast are you going? Hydroplaning, those are all things that could be of concern. So not trying to scare you, just weather really is interesting to me. I love watching the weather, you know, and I've learned a whole bunch. So make sure you do your homework and your research. If these are concerns and you have no idea what any of these driving conditions are like, you know, read up on it or ask fellow drivers, maybe in some social media forums, how they travel through these areas. So just a little bit of things that they didn't teach me in truck school. So I hope you have a great day. Vince isn't here, because if he was, he'd say don't leave money on the table. If you're interested in what we do, you need your Class B license, CDL license, hazmat and tanker endorsements, preferably a teammate from the same household would be helpful because we only do teams here at Hyfield. I don't know, am I forgetting anything else? Like and subscribe, and this is just a quick video. So have a great day. Looks like the sun's gonna shine here. Bye. Let's hope I'm not on slow motion. I don't want to take 3. No taking 3.